The Oklahoma Sooners have seen another player hit the transfer portal. And honestly, this one is one that kind of stings. A guy that I really like, a guy that I talked highly of the whole season. And I think it's actually going to end up being a bigger loss for the Sooners than a lot of people realize. But before we get into it, please go ahead, hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Where are the Oklahoma Sooners going to go at the linebacker position in 2023? Okay, so David Ugwoegbu, the senior 6'4", 237-pounder linebacker hailing from Katy, Texas, has decided to enter the transfer portal. And listen, this one kind of hurts a little bit because David Ugwoegbu is one of those guys where I had a lot of high expectations for him here at Oklahoma. I thought he could have been a really great player, and I think he was maybe starting to make strides that way. This is a guy that is extremely smart, extremely talented, a guy that can place people on the field in the right place. You saw guys looking up to him here at Oklahoma, asking them, "Hey, where should I go? Where should I be?" And David Ugwoegbu was telling them where they should go. So David Ugwoegbu is a guy that I think has NFL possibilities, and a guy that definitely, has the stats to back it up here at Oklahoma. In his career here at Oklahoma, he has 208 total tackles, 109 solos. He has 16 tackles for loss and 4 sacks with 1 interception. So, maybe not the most highly productive linebacker you've ever seen. But, in one season, this season in 2022, he had 109 total tackles with 55 solo tackles. That's pretty good in and of itself. He had 7.5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. So David Ugwoegbu is a guy that, this was a high production player for Oklahoma. And losing him from your linebacker room, especially with this tenured as he is, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt a little bit. So now Brent Venables and the staff and Ted Roof, they have to be able to go out there and they have to acquire a talented linebacker that is able to come in and bring some experience to maybe some of these younger guys, and guys that maybe or a guy that knows how to run the 3-3-5. And there are a couple options that maybe come to mind for me. One of the options that I've talked about that, hey, if he hits the transfer portal, it's an option that I 100% think Oklahoma is going to go after. And that is the 5-star linebacker in 2021, Barrett Carter. I really like what he did at Clemson this season. He was a tremendous player for them. And it's one that I think everybody should potentially keep their name out for Oklahoma. And, there are other linebackers in the portal. We talked about one for Colorado that I liked. Maybe Oklahoma needs to give this guy a look. It's the 5-star linebacker, Terrence Lewis. He ended up at UCF last season, and now he's in the portal once again, maybe looking for another home. Maybe that's a guy that Brent Venables would go after and maybe potentially try to bring on the team. If you're looking at other linebackers from Clemson, you could be looking at maybe Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I like this kid, 6 foot, 230-pound sophomore. He actually, I think, was the leading tackler for Clemson with 89 total tackles, 6.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. That could be an option. If these two guys hit the portal, those are guys that you could be potentially looking at. Barrett Carter, this past season, had 73 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 5.5 sacks. So I know some of you would be asking, well, why would they want to come to Oklahoma? Hey, you know what? They could be wanting to rejoin the staff. Relationships go a long way. And, if you have a relationship with the player, ultimately, I think you put yourself in a better position. Linebackers that are still left in the portal, there's quite a few out there. I don't know who necessarily I think would be a good fit. I mean, I'm just looking up and down the board, not necessarily looking at best available, because sometimes best available, as we've seen this past season, isn't always the best fit. So, we'll just have to kind of keep our eyes open and kind of see what's going to happen at this position for the Sooners. It's going to be interesting. The linebacker position, it's important in this 3-3-5. And so you have to be able to have talented, smart guys that are able to run this. And that's what David Ugwoegbu was. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about David Ugwoegbu hitting the portal.